Good evening and welcome to tonight's Monroe City Council meeting. This is the regular business meeting for Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. The time right now is 7 p.m. I'm going to ask that Jody Wyckoff, our clerk Wyckoff, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members present and establishing a quorum are council members Fulcher, Beaumont, Hanford, Walker, Gamble, Fisher, and Scarborough.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Fulcher, will you please lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is public comments. Is there anybody that would like to speak to the council this evening? Okay, nobody's signed on. And there's nobody wanting to speak to the council this evening? Okay, seeing none, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda. That is an executive session. This is potential litigation pursuant to RCW 42.30.110, subsection 1, subsection little I. We'll set this for an initial 10 minutes to begin at the current time, which is not on my computer. It is 7:01 p.m. There will be action to follow. I will announce any extensions if necessary. So we are now in executive session at 7:01.
The executive session has been extended 2 minutes.
All right, we're back out of executive session. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda. That would be the consent agenda. I turn to the council. Jeopardy music plays here. Councilmember Walker, you just reached forward, so I assume that was to a flag.
Wasn't, but I'd like to make a motion, or I'd like to move to approve the consent agenda as provided in the packet.
I have a motion from Councilmember Walker, a second from Councilmember Fulcher to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. Item number 7.1, Flex Funding Administration Contract number 2025-046 with Rachel Adams. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Mayor Thomas, Monroe City Council. So this item we discussed at the March 25th, 2025 meeting with an incorrect attachment. And now it's being brought back to you with the correct attachment contract. This is an item to approve a contract with Take the Next Step for Flex Funding Administration alongside their case management services for in the amount of $15,000. And I'm happy to answer any more questions if you've thought of any.
All right, thank you. I turn to the council for questions or a motion. Councilmember Beaumont, go ahead.
I move to approve the Community Human Services Advisory Board recommendation to award $15,000 to Take the Next Step for Flex Funding Administration alongside case management and authorize the mayor to sign and execute contract number 2025-046.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion from Councilmember Beaumont, a second from Councilmember Scarborough for the requested action on the slide for new business item 7.1. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is 7.2. This is ordinance number 004-2025, amending MMC 3.54.130, transportation impact fees for first reading with Mr. Peterson. Good evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Good evening, council members. Oh, let me just get situated here. Yes, so presented before you is the draft ordinance number 4 of 2025, amending the transportation impact fees, first reading. Back in March 11th, staff came here along with our consultants. We gave a presentation of our future capital projects, what that dollar amount is, how that translates to the proportional share for predicted or projected development in the city for the next 20 years. We estimated about $99 million worth of capital street projects, and of that, about $47 million we figured was going to be the responsibility of future development. Didn't want to belabor it too much. The agenda packet has a lot more information in it to help you remember, but we brought in a couple of slides just to kind of jog your memory about that from last month. So as you mentioned, capital or new development doesn't pay for everything the city does. There's recognition that the existing population also is benefited from this. So through the numbers and analysis, which is also in as an attachment to the agenda bill, about, we can almost say 47% of projected infrastructure needs will be borne by future development. And so we charge impact fees for that reason. So the next slide, what does that mean when it all boils down to what we would assess our proposed development applications? Here's a quick comparison chart where we have our categories of land use proposed, and then the middle column is what our current fee schedule is, and what this ordinance would do would be the right column, the future or proposed rates stemming from this study with our new comp plan projects. On average, it averages about a 76% increase over the existing.
All right. We do have a question from Councilmember Scarborough.
So on this chart, that right-hand column basically doubles. pretty
Close
much.
to it.
Is that over the next 20 years?
No, this will go into effect as soon as the ordinance is adopted. That will be the new rate. We would assess future applications.
So the 99 million, the 47 million comes from where?
Those fees.
I'm sorry?
It'd be those fees. We
Those
would
fees.
have, there's a projected, let's just pick on single family. There's a projected amount of single family growth in the next 20 years. We would charge each single family $7,426 per unit. And over time, that money would come in to the tune of $47 million.
And the other half of the money comes from where?
From other identified city sources such as real estate excise tax fund. We could go for federal and state grants,
Okay.
Other sources.
Boy, when I read this, can we sell to the public a 50% increase in mitigation fees for this? I guess I'm putting out that to the rest of the council. And I wouldn't know what to do to tell you that's unacceptable, we got to do something less. I wouldn't know. But boy, when I read that, I went, no wonder people are we going to stop people from wanting to come here and live? Are we doing this because Snohomish County says you will grow X number of houses, X number of jobs over the next 5 years, or what? Does this doubling of these fees alarm anybody but me? Guess not.
And I'll call on Jason in just a second. But this is for people that are applying, they're applying for permits, and it is to fund the system that the council has approved to the transportation plan, right? And so if the money doesn't come from impact fees or grants or other sources, it comes from the community that currently lives here. So in terms of the numbers you see and everything up there, that's just something to be aware of, is that somebody ends up paying the cost. And even here, growth doesn't pay the entirety of growth, it just contributes to it. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead, Councilmember Gamble's got the floor, and then we can come back to you for clarification. Yeah, Councilmember Gamble?
So when we looked at this before, the fee, and we discussed this the last time, but and I actually was kind of anticipating we'd see it in the packet, but I don't see it in the packet, is that we set the impact fees, a lot of these fees based off of we wanted development. And so we put the impact fee associated, we had the stack rank in the surrounding area, and we put it there. And that was a policy decision that we made collectively as a council, because we had, whether it was the Master Builders Association or everybody across the board, it's even in this from the standpoint of, hey, we had to waive fees in order to keep that project, on track in the downtown, area. So it was a conscious decision that we made. This is a policy decision. Like, it is more around development. from my perspective. I mean, we wanted to not be, our decision, if you remember back, and Kevin, you were on council, it's been a while, right? Is that we wanted to be just below the mid. Because we felt if we were below the mid, that it would make us attractive and we would get growth, and we wanted the investment. They would come to us because the margins would be higher on the lot, because let's be honest, that cost is gonna get passed on when they sell. So it, in my opinion, it will potentially drive the cost of housing up, right, that it's invested. That's what I've always seen with builders. So it is a policy decision, but at the same time, it might slow growth. If we go up this much, I don't have from a context, I think we had it earlier, that, you know, is it like the top quartile? If it is, then we are definitely changing our philosophy as a council that says, hey, we want to be on the top. That may push investment out into some of the other areas. Are we okay with that?
All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
I'd like to just add that, yes, we did have a slide projection showing how we stack up with the other cities in the neighborhood. And I felt like we were in the lower quartile
We were. That was
of
on
everybody
purpose.
else. I remember like North Bend, their current fees were in excess of $15,000. And we currently are $4,200. So even in our proposed rate, we're going to be half of North Bend's. But the other more important thing to think of is we're not the only city that's subjected to this new way of looking at our traffic demand. With recent legislation requiring that we look at all forms of travel, not just cars, but sidewalks and bike paths, there's a lot more projects that cities are being identifying as being done. They will also have to address their new project count and cost count and figure out how they're going to pay for it, much like us. We, like all the rest of the cities, it's brand new legislation, so there's no history, there's no prediction to go. We're kind of like the spearhead of it all. And so this is, you know, we hire a top-notch transportation consultant to come up with methodology to address this new multimodal level of service analysis. And other cities are either right there with us or a little bit behind us, but we're all learning this new thing. And yes, we have, our fees are quite a bit more than what they currently are. We are believing the rest of the cities out there are also going to have to increase their fees as well. And I don't see ourselves rising to the top of the local agencies by any means. So.
Okay. Jody, do you have the chart? Okay. Deborah was able to pull the chart up, and so we're going to put it up on the screen. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, so that's,
Very easy to see.
yeah, very easy to see. Yeah. But you can see where we are, the orange on there, and this is,
Orange is the average.
There you
we're below the average, okay.
Yeah, and all I was saying is that was on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so that's with proposed.
That's current. That's
Okay.
current, but we're not expecting Monroe to also be at the top or near the top. We're just expecting everyone to move to the
Everybody to
right with their
shift.
prices, because everyone has to address this state legislation. They have to figure out how to pay for it.
Okay. All right, Councilmember Walker and then Councilmember Hanford. Okay, Councilmember Hanford.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, and then also Councilmember Scarborough to kind of address the concerns there. I can't tell you how many times I've seen on social media residents demanding or asking if all these people moving in are helping to pay for all these different things that we need to get done in the city. And so the answer is yes, for sure. And Councilmember Gamble, you covered what we talked about.
Thank you. Councilmember Scarborough?
Yeah, as you explained, I remember this start. I remember where we came from. It makes more sense now. I remember that. What you clarified that helped me understand was what you referred to that we thought about is that the new people coming in are paying the freight, because if they don't, then those of us that live here have. So thank you for both of you for reminding me of that.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Walker?
For the lower half of the list, supermarket, for example, would that only be when a structure is being built with the original intent to be a supermarket? Or is that for like a new business application if I'm a supermarket?
Well, it could be a brand-new supermarket, or if they expand their existing building, it's based on gross floor area. So it could be, really, it's just at the permit level, what a supermarket's up to, you know?
Right.
So if you just get a new market, and we try to make this table as, I'll call it, easy to administer as we can. So it's really down to that, you know, 1,000 square foot or 10,000 square foot building would be multiplied by that number, and that would be their impact fee, whether or not it's brand new or just a simple addition.
So if there's a vacant building and I'm a supermarket and I want to move in there, am I going to have to pay any of this, or was that paid by the original building?
Are you referring to a change of occupancy?
Yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
nuance there, depending on how long it's been vacant, but if it hasn't been vacant too long, they would just pay the difference. So if it was a warehouse before, and now they wanted to make it a supermarket, we would recognize that the warehouse already paid a certain amount. We would charge the delta of the,
Okay.
the higher level.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Beaumont?
I was wondering if you could, Jody, if you could put the slide back up, the one that showed the rankings of the different cities for me. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Gamble?
So the one clarification I wanted, and because we've had this before too, is on the single-family 1 or 2 dwelling unit, the impact fee rate of the $7,426. So if a single family, and this might be addressed in the ADU code, but I just want to address it because it's in here, right?
Sure.
So if I am a residential, single family, I'm adding an ADU on, I've already paid my fee.
Yeah, so that's going to be something forthcoming with the new ADU laws as well, that I know staff, planning, and the Public Works group, even Parks is going through and sweeping to our code to address ADU laws. And so I believe the ADU subject's coming later, like around, May. And
Well,
and
we're
how that,
approving this now, so what I'm asking is.
yes, zero now.
That's
The
my-
current
okay,
code is zero
perfect.
now.
That's
Right.
what I just wanted that on the record, because I knew that was the answer, but just having gone down that road before, I wanted that one on the record, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from council or a motion? I'm sorry, were you finished presenting?
I think there might be another slide or two.
Okay, let's continue with your presentation.
Okay,
I'm
sure.
sorry.
So after this meeting and the next council meeting, we'll bring our final reading and adoption of this ordinance number 4, 2025. And just for reference, I reposted the action requests tonight. So that was the end of my presentation.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Hanford?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm happy to read this motion, but I just wanted to confirm if I'm reading the correct.
Yeah,
Verbiage.
are you noticing a difference in language somewhere?
No, I just,
Yeah, let's go ahead and read the one that's on the screen.
okay, thank you. I move to accept as first reading ordinance number 004-2025, amending chapter 3.54.130 MMC, transportation impact fees, updating and revising the city's methodology, rate structure, and schedule for imposing transportation impact fees upon certain development activity affecting various housekeeping amendments, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Thank you. We have a motion from Councilmember Hanford, a second from Councilmember Gamble for the requested action as shown on this screen, which is entitled Transportation Impact Fees. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is new business item 8.1, Rules of Procedure for Boards, Commissions, and Committees with Clerk Wyckoff. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you this evening is a ordinance and introduction for a resolution for adopting general rules of procedure for our various boards, commissions, and committees. The first reading of the ordinance to amend certain portions of Chapter 4, Title 4, Chapter 4.30 MMC is for I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Amending Title 4, Chapter 4.10, and various other chapters within Title 4 to amend certain pieces of code to allow council to adopt these general rules of procedure. A resolution to formally adopt the rules of procedures will be brought forward at a future meeting for consideration. The having general rules of procedure for boards, commissions, and committees will allow for streamlined guidelines related to meetings and decorum. Please note that the Civil Service Commission and Left One Disability Board have very specific duties set in state law and have their own rules of procedure. They will be subject to the general rules of procedures. However, if there is a conflict, their rules will control. I am here to answer any questions about the adopting ordinance to amend fees, or excuse me, to amend code and/or the rules of procedure.
Thank you. And before I call in council members, this is something that's one of those nerdy things that we do. But what's important to this is that when community members come to a commission meeting or a board meeting or a council meeting, I'd like them to have the same type of experience. And when we do have people that may move from one board to another, or to a commission, or to council, or to mayor, the sooner that we can start getting people with the understanding as to how meetings are managed and everything, the better for the workings of our local government. In reviewing some board and commission recordings a couple years ago, I witnessed a situation where one board or commission took a substantial amount of time during public comment, including going back and forth with a party that had an interest with the city. And when I saw that, it caused me to pause, because that's something that we can't do here. We keep things to 3 minutes, and we just want to make certain that when people go to a board or a commission, that they have the same 3-minute period of time and have the ability to submit comments in writing if it goes beyond that, and that there's consistency. So I thank the council committee for working on this and the council for consideration. I certainly thank staff and our attorney Lel for doing all the work on this, so thank you all. I'll now turn to the council. I saw 2 hands go up. I saw Councilmember Gamble and Councilmember Beaumont, so I'll take Councilmember Gamble first.
No questions. I was just going to make a motion and move to approve first reading of ordinance 003-2025, amending chapter 4.10 MMC general provisions, authorizing the city council to adopt uniform rules of procedure for city boards, commissions, committees, amending chapter 4.30 MMC ethics board, chapter 4.50 MMC parks board, chapter 4.60 MMC planning commission, and chapter 4.70 MMC salary commission in order to eliminate redundancy and enhance the consistency of said chapters in relation to the above referenced uniform rules of procedure, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Well done.
Thanks.
You got all that in. That was great. So we have a motion from Councilmember Gamble, second from Councilmember Hanford for the requested action as shown on the slide up above, 8.1 new business. Any discussion on the motion? Councilmember Beaumont, I did see that you had your hand up.
I was just going to say thank you to the committee for all the hard work on this, and it's a welcome to have this. It's a wonderful thing to have this done and ready to go. So I was just going to say thanks and appreciation.
Thank you. All right. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, everybody. We're going to now move on to item 8.2, new business emergency motel voucher program amendments to contract numbers HCS 2466, 2442, 235, and 2024-082 with Rachel Adams, and I need to find my reading glasses. Go ahead, Rachel.
Hello again. So attached for you tonight are 2 contract amendments that are needed to fully process final payment for services in our emergency motel voucher amendment. This is really housekeeping in order to close out the contract. It changes the funding source at the state level, adjusts the date range of reimbursable activities, and brings all the budget line items into compliance. That's the easy way of stating all the complexities, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. I turn to the council. Any questions or a motion? Councilmember Beaumont.
I move to approve the proposed amendments to contract numbers HCS-24-66, -2442-235, Snohomish County, and 2024-082, Volunteers of America, Western Washington.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Beaumont. Is there a second?
Second, Scarborough.
I have a second from Councilmember Scarborough. Any discussion on the motion? Councilmember Fisher, go ahead.
What was the overrun on this?
Yeah, so this contract amendment also increases the contract amount with VOA by $8,937.83, which will be reallocated from the City of Monroe operations budget. These funds are being used to cover additional costs to the program due to providing increased bed nights. They went from 1,750 bed night as their goal to 3,000 bed nights that they were able to cover.
Councilmember Walker.
Still kind
I'm
of thinking
sorry.
for a second. No,
I-
no, you're fine.
There was a silence.
Yes, there was, because I was just thinking.
All right, you've still got the
Um,
floor, Councilmember. No, I didn't.
I don't know if that answers the question
Oh, okay.
of the overrun, though. So we ran out of money.
No, we didn't run out of money.
Okay.
The contract still has a remaining balance.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay,
And there's
sorry.
no-
You're fine.
There's no additional cost to the city, so this is coming out of the contract with Snohomish County,
Okay,
which is the reason for the amendment with Snohomish County.
got it.
So all we're doing is paying for additional bed nights. There is a remaining balance, and we'll be coming back to the council for discussion of what to do with that remaining balance.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Councilmember, was it Walker? Okay.
The 8,000 figure that you just mentioned out of an operations budget, is that coming directly from the city or is that coming out of?
No, that's part of the budget that we set aside for City of Monroe staff and hours for City of Monroe staff to reimburse our costs. But since the program is ending a little bit early, we have funds that we can't recoup from that part of the budget.
Not city dollars.
Not city dollars, it's,
Kind of. It sounds like, so at the beginning of the program, when we first had the budget, we had whatever is left over that we're gonna talk about a week or two from now, plus that 9,000 that we're now going to. So the 9,000 is coming from the pile that was meant to reimburse city staff time,
correct,
is that right?
yes. But since the program is over, we can't reimburse those costs.
So there was funding available to manage the program in-house city staff time going through June. But the program closed in February, so we don't need that admin time for them. We won't need that. And so rather than just have that money sit there, that money is going to be allocated to these additional bed nights to reimburse VOA for the additional bed nights, the cost for those bed nights.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, other questions? Councilmember?
I understand that we are moving it from one thing that didn't get used up all the way to the other thing that we needed it for. And at some point, we are going to be able to talk about how we blew through all that money, and we don't exactly know how. Can we account for everything that we've done? I realize this may be a secondary conversation, but at some point, we would like to see an accounting for all that money.
Yeah, absolutely. I've submitted for reimbursement through the county, all of the receipts for hotel bed nights and VOA staff costs. So I have all of those reimbursement supporting documentation available. So I know where all the money has ended up. Those costs have been approved by the county, and the county is going to fully reimburse the City of Monroe to cover those costs.
Deborah?
I would also add that, just because of the complexity of this particular contract, we've been talking at a staff level about having a third-party auditor come in and take a look at this. And we've asked for a quote from a CPA firm that does this type of work for local governments, and we'll be bringing that quote to council for consideration. So if there's some interest in seeing kind of a final report and taking a look at an audit, you'll have that opportunity to discuss that at a future meeting.
Perfect. That addresses my concerns, so I will want to, that is a road I want to go down. And I realize right now we are just talking about that 8,000 some, moving it to where we need it. So I'm on board with tonight's business. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councilmember Walker, go ahead.
I would personally be in favor of waiting till an audit was complete to amend the contract unless it is very time sensitive.
So the time sensitivity around this contract is that VOA has not been reimbursed for any of the costs in this contract as of yet, and the total amount that they have spent up to this point is $500,057.129.83. So they haven't seen any of those reimbursements come back to them yet for the work that they've been doing. And then also that the funding from Snohomish County and the state expires in June of this year. So those are the time sensitivities around it.
Councilmember Walker, there was still steam coming out of your ears as somebody was saying earlier. Councilmember Hanford, go ahead.
I just was wondering, if we go down that road, is it even physically possible to do an audit of that between April 8th and June 1st?
I think it would be difficult to complete that audit in that amount of time, considering that we need to bring something back to council for consideration, enter into a contract, and start that work and complete the audit. As Rachel indicated, I have seen all the documentation that has come through. I believe, as Rachel has stated, that there is sufficient backup documentation for every dollar that's been spent. I think what we're going to find as a part of this potential audit that the council is going to be considering at a later date is best practices for us and for Volunteers of America in the future. So I'm not particularly concerned about this amendment, but certainly understand if council wanted to wait until the audit was done to approve this. You certainly have that option, as Rachel suggested, to do that.
Councilmember Hanford, continue.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm curious to hear what other council members feel. Regardless, I would support Councilmember Fulcher's request for an audit. Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, that's something that we're in the process of doing and we'd bring forward, so thank you. Councilmember Walker?
What does it mean that they doubled their bed nights? So like if we approved a grant, let's say $1 per 1750, it was $1 a piece for a bed night. How did they go from 1750 to 3,000?
So in some of the attached reports, you'll see that the program was over-enrolled coming out of the first contract. They were trying to spend down those funds, which they didn't spend all of the first contract's funding. Only about $150,000 of the available $592,000 was spent. So coming out of that contract, there were a lot of people participating in the program. And that increased the amount of services that were then started coming into this second contract.
All right, Councilmember Fulcher.
Okay, got it. To answer your question, can I do that? Okay, I'm going to answer.
You've got the floor now.
I'm going to answer his question while looking at you.
Yeah, that's fine too. Yeah.
I do not have a problem with approving tonight's request. You know I want the audit also, but what you're asking for tonight is very easily traceable. So I am very much on board with saying yes tonight, yes to an audit. just to be clear, Councilmember Walker. Keep pushing.
Okay, so, go ahead, Councilmember Walker.
I was just gonna say, I've got a lot of trust in your guys' judgment on the amendments that are being made, but I just want to make sure, I would love for it to be a very strict audit. I think that it's really interesting number changes, so, yeah, would love to follow up on that.
Yeah, we will be bringing forward an audit.
Okay.
Staff and I spoke about this a couple months ago. It is something that we are bringing forward to the council for consideration.
Okay.
And so, to be very clear, it's something that we identified a couple months ago that would be of interest, that we are bringing forward. Okay? So with that said, you do have a motion before you here today that you can consider. I understand that services have been rendered. Our city administrator has reviewed it along with other staff. And, you know, it's up to the council. It sounds like this is funds that need to be expended before the end of June.
Yes.
It's not likely that the audit would be completed before the funds need to be expended. So it's up to council on where your comfort is with the $8,000 that is here that's shifting around, that is a pass-through, correct?
Yes.
From another agency through us to VOA. So if there are any other questions, let me know. If I don't hear a motion, then it will die for lack of motion, and we'll move on to the next topic. I'm sorry. Thank you.
And a second.
You know, I probably should have had caffeinated coffee tonight. All right, so we do have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on the motion? Councilmember Walker, you're leaning into your mic. Go for it.
Just for our, I guess the council's kind of knowledge going forward for future contracts, can we also be given more, I don't know, insights or information or documentation on the cases that were approved? Because obviously the audit is going to focus on the finances aspect, but I'm also curious on the deployment of the funds, because I think we had a lot of original intents when we passed, or when we accepted the initial grant or the role. So I just want to make sure that we could get feedback on that as well.
Okay, so just to clarify, are we only talking human services, or are we only talking specific to this voucher program, or are we
Specific to
talking
this.
all contracts?
Specific to this voucher program.
Specific to this voucher program, okay, yeah. If there's anything else, we'll make certain that we're giving complete information in the materials being brought forward. Deborah? Did you have something that you wanted to follow up on?
Just looking for clarification.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome. I think we're just looking for clarification about what deployment of funds means.
I guess the audit is going to probably focus on the finances, but I guess I would love if we could ask in the audit that the qualitative deployment of the funds, or how they were dispensed to receive the vouchers, that is a part of it.
So if I understand you correctly, like how referrals were made, if they met
Yes,
criteria,
yes.
what the outcomes were.
Thank you. I needed caffeinated coffee too.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That,
Councilmember Gamble?
Yeah, I think where you're going is that the presentation was made, hey, this is how we're gonna make an impact, these are the type of scenarios. So he's just wanting validation that that occurred. The
Perfect.
numbers and that sort of thing.
Great.
I totally support.
Perfect, thank you, we'll do that. All right, anything further? Okay, we have a motion on the table. If there are no other points of clarification, I will call for the vote. Okay, I'm going to call for the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, everybody. Next item on the agenda is item 8.3. This is Mobile Mental Health Co-Responder Contract Amendment Number 2023-09902 with Rachel Adams.
all right. So this item is also some more housekeeping. It formally is going to remove the Department of Commerce funding that was intended to expand the co-responder program and provide 7-day-a-week coverage. We worked with VOA to fill this position for over 18 months, and it proved harder than we anticipated to find a second co-responder. Jessie is definitely a gem, so we appreciate her service with us. VOA and the City of Monroe mutually agreed to terminate the Department of Commerce funding source as to not continue to overfund this program. It also adds in the unobligated budget categories for the current fiscal period, which is carryover from the first period due to the contract being overfunded in that first period. The unobligated budget covers some unmet program needs that was requested by VOA, including travel, training, ongoing education, professional licenses, vehicle expenses for the co-responder. And it also aligns the City of Monroe contract with the SAMHSA contract that would allow for a 25% budget line adjustment without having to go through SAMHSA's formal budget amendment process.
All right. Turn to the council. Are there questions or a motion? Councilmember Beaumont?
Thank you, Rachel. I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention in the agenda bill materials for this under Exhibit B. This is kind of getting back to the kind of accountability, I think, that we were just talking about with that other program. It has monthly check-in meetings with VOA program staff scheduled with City of Monroe Human Services Department staff. The consultant will present requested program updates to the Community Human Services Advisory Board, Monroe City Council, and/or federal partners. And success stories will be collected from monthly reports to be included in the Human Services Department reports. So I think that's kind of what we were getting at, and that's already in this one, which is
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
So, yeah, just
And-
wanted to bring that forward.
And this was also added, and I discussed with VOA today, the reason we're adding these items is to bring them into alignment with other active City of Monroe contracts that, that we've just learned to increase our communication and collaboration with our organizations. So I'm
Right.
excited to start down this path with them also.
That's great. Yeah, well done. So if no one else has anything else, I'll just go ahead and move to approve and authorize the mayor to sign amendment number 2023-099-02.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Beaumont, a second from Councilmember Hanford for the requested action on the slide, 8.3 new business. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, everybody. All right, we're going to go ahead and move, and thank you both. We're going to go ahead and move on to councilmember reports. Councilmember, I was going to call you Councilmember Kyle tonight. There you go. Councilmember Fisher.
Yeah. Hi. I think the only thing I have is, it looks like House Bill 1380, which was the House bill about moving people out of public spaces that were living there. It looks like it's probably going to fail. And so my request would just be to look into our policies for trespassing in our parks.
Yep, we will.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Walker.
Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Beaumont.
Thank you. I attended the chamber luncheon today with all of, I think everybody was there. Council members Scarborough and Gamble were not there, but yeah, it was a really wonderful afternoon. And I've had the chance over the last couple of weeks to get back in the classroom and do some substitute teaching at Monroe High School, Frank Wagner Elementary, and Frylands Elementary. And that's been really rewarding, getting in there with students and teachers and staff and seeing kind of what some of the unique challenges are in our schools. And that's been wonderful. And I promised I would give a shout out to the Monroe High School High Q team. They are doing great. They're former state champs last year and having a very successful year this year. So there you go, guys. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Gamble. Thank you. Councilmember Scarborough. Thank you. Councilmember Fulcher.
I was also at the State of the City today, and my ears. And I would like to thank all the really great, it was a great summary of everything that happens in Monroe. It was just showing off what Monroe does best. So thanks to everyone who put the presentations together, all the staff who was there, and for speaking your heart, Jeffrey, so, Mayor Thomas. And also, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, and I also am with Councilmember Fisher on that thing, which I know we are going to take care of, which is the trespassing in the parks.
Understood. Thank you. Councilmember Hanford.
Thank you, Mayor. Make that 3 for Councilmember Fisher's concern. Not that you need a third, but yes, the luncheon, it was great to see so many of you there, and great work on the presentation. And thank you for sharing, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. All right, next item on the agenda is staff and department reports. We're going to go to item 10.1, Human Services, February and March 2025 work report with Caitlin Harrigan. Good evening, again.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, thank you. Included in your packet is the staff report for Human Services for February and March. One new feature I would like to highlight, other than the rebrand with our new branding guidelines, is that we also have been keeping track of Human Services referrals and call log. So in there you can see the volume of both internal city referrals to our department and outside referrals. And so we've been tracking those along with our detail and showing which ones have been finished already and where those referrals are coming from. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
All right, any questions for Caitlin? Councilmember Beaumont.
Thank you, Caitlin. I just wanted to let you know that I think the Hope on the Horizon event is really wonderful, and especially the struggling with screen time, shout out there, or, all these things that you've listed to support parents. I really, really thought that was fantastic, and I hope it goes well and you have a good turnout. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That does remind me that sharing about that event, there was a little bit of a pivot with the order of events. This community event that's going to be happening on May 6th, it was originally going to be a panelist event, and now we have a very exciting guest speaker that's going to be joining us. And the focus of the topic will be on screens mostly too, so that's going to be really great. So, and it's more details to come with that. Now that we've had a slight pivot with that, we have new information and flyers that are going to be coming around. So be on the lookout for that, and hope you can all join us.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councilmember Walker.
Caitlin, I just want to say your reports are always awesome, and you're doing a great job. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else? All right, next report is, thank you very much, Caitlin, is from our Parks Department with Ben Swanson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So just some brief updates, really focusing on play chips right now. You'll see a lot of the playgrounds refreshed up with play chips in there. We've got, I can't count how many drum tarps loads that we're loading in there. Also, Curry Park's going along fairly well. There are some delays by the weather, and if you notice out there, we typically do the port-in-place surfacing, that rubberized surfacing. This time we're doing half the port-in-place and then half we're trying a turf on it. So we want to see how that holds up. It's on the for the younger kids section of the playground, and so that's actually been installed because this isn't weather dependent, but the port-in-place is weather dependent. So we have to wait a little bit more time on that. But the other thing too is we finally got the center median fixed that the car crashed into, and so we got a contractor out there, Mason, to get out there and fix that up. So,
all right.
Any questions?
Thank you, Ben. Any questions? Councilmember Hanford, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, thank you for the report, and love seeing the work coming together at Curry there. Very excited for the grand ribbon cutting opening, and great work. You're doing great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Fulcher.
Thank you. Yeah, I also think that, especially as we are entering into a time when people are starting to go outside and starting to enjoy our beautiful parks, I just want to say you do a great job, and thank you very much. And your reports are entertaining, so that's always that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Councilmember Walker?
Mr. Swanson, I need the final word. The estimate for the park completion date, originally I saw April and then it was July, but looking at it now, it looks amazing. It looks like I could run out there and hop on a swing. Any updates?
Yeah. So the first part actually moved along really quickly. And so we were actually hoping to be done by the end of this month. And so things just came together. The contractor got out on site sooner than we thought. We had the installers call us up and said, hey, we just had somebody cancel. We have a gap in our schedule. And so things actually progressed much faster, and we thought we were going to be finished a lot sooner. Then we've kind of hit monsoon season that slowed things down, but we're really hoping to finish by the end of the month.
Thank you. Councilmember Beaumont?
Thanks, Ben. Everything that everyone said up here, you guys are doing a great job. Really appreciate you. You answered a question I had last meeting about when they were removing the old prolay structure in the corner. And it sounds like they are going to remove it and then put grass back.
Correct.
That is fantastic. That's what I was hoping for, because even though there's a lot of open space at that park, the new park does take up quite a bit of that room. And I was hoping that that would be restored as just a place to just hang out and, play your own games or whatever you want to do. What's our timing on that? And then how long do you think that process will take? Obviously, the grass needs to grow, but will the removal of the equipment take a few days, or what's your thoughts on that?
It's going to depend a little bit. So what we're doing is we're actually getting help from Public Works. We're paying Public Works to go out there and assist us in removing that. So when the park finishes up, there's two things that need to happen. We need to dig the trench for the water line for the new drinking fountain that goes, and that's going to be cutting across the park, and then removing that old equipment and filling that up. And so we're trying to just essentially do all of that in one shot. Then the final thing is to get the fence installed once all that's in there. And so we're really hoping Public Works, that's kind of depends on their schedule a little bit, can get out there right after completion of the existing or the new playground, and then start demoing that. It could be, as far as the water line, I think they were looking at a couple of days. The demo of the equipment, you can remove the equipment, you can do it a day easy, and then it's just pulling. We want to pull all the old bark chips out of there so it doesn't decay and seep down. And so pulling that out, bringing dirt in. I don't know. It would be probably a total of 5 days over probably 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you very much, Ben.
Great, thank you.
All right, we're up on number 11 now. This is 11.1, City Administrator Report for Extended Agenda. Ms. Knight?
Great, thank you, Mayor. Looking forward to April 15th. The Finance and Human Resources Committee meeting will be canceled for that day. We will have a regular study session. We have a couple of items. We have park impact fees and accessory dwelling unit update with Ben Swanson, and then citywide rezone introduction with Lance Bailey. For the council meeting, for the P3 committee meeting on April 22nd, we have two items: the conversion of structures to housing with Leanne Barr, and then under unfinished business, the festival lot options coming back from Patrick Doherty. For the regular council meeting, under consent agenda, we have the regular accounts payable, meeting minutes, and payroll. We'll also then have the transportation impact fee adoption ordinance, the ordinance to amend the rules of procedure for boards, commissions, and committees, and then the resolution for the board, commission, and committees rules of procedure. So two items related to boards, commission, and committees. We'll have a new business item, the park impact fee for first reading, and then legislative update with Liam McCorkle, a report from Finance, Public Works, and HRIT.
All right, thank you. Questions? Councilmember Gamble? All right, thank you. Councilmember Hanford?
Never mind, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, well, I guess I will say.
Okay.
So I
I felt like there was more coming.
copied the logo, our new logo, stole it off of Liam's email signature line and added it to my email, so I'm just making sure we're good.
Yes, we're good.
with that.
Yes,
Okay.
all good.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, any other questions, comments? All right, thank you. Go ahead. City Administrator Report.
City Administrator report. We've got several upcoming meetings and events, and so if you are interested in attending the Main Street Flower Crawl, that is scheduled for April 12th. That's this weekend. And then Snohomish County City's dinner meeting is scheduled for April 17th. Please contact Liam McCorkle if you'd like to be registered for that by April 11th. That's this Friday. The Arbor Day and Earth Day celebration is scheduled for April 25th at 1 p.m. at Lake Ty Park. We also have a Puget Sound Regional Council, the annual General Assembly. If you're interested in attending that, that's on May 22nd. Again, please contact Liam. Related to our new city brand, we have staff ordering new name tags for delivery by April 25th. So we hope to have those in before council members leave to go to Washington, D.C. We will also be sending out a link to options for logo clothing, but it's a great reminder, thank you Councilmember Hanford, that we will also send out at the same time how to download and use the new logo in your email signature line for those that are interested. So look forward to those two emails coming out to you tomorrow.
Councilmember Hanford?
Thank you, Mayor. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the Puget Sound Regional Council General Assembly, I have not been able to make it, but it's my understanding, and I did RSVP to go this year, but it's my understanding that by being there, then we have a voice, a vote.
Yes,
So it's kind of important
yes,
for us to be there if we can, because then our vote counts,
yes,
correct?
yes.
Thank you. So I would encourage other council members, if you're able to make it, happy to possibly carpool. Not sure what my day looks like that day, but it's in the middle of the day. It's a light lunch, like 11 to 1, something like that. 11 to 12:30.
So if you could, if you just go ahead and get a hold of Liam, if you're gonna go, and then you can coordinate, of course, carpooling, yeah.
I can provide the update too in my next report about the time and the location, so you all know that information as well. The clerk also reminded me that my slide should have included tours. We had a request from council member previously for tours of the bank building and the new city hall. And so we were considering doing that before the council meeting on 4/15 because the HR Finance Committee meeting has been canceled. I know Councilmember Gamble says, I'm gonna be out of town again. Well, then we won't do it that week. We will look for another date and time to reschedule that. We were also looking at possibly May 1st. So that would be normally a study session. Those are the study sessions that have been previously canceled. And so we can certainly schedule it for, I believe it's May 1st, correct? Isn't
May
that-
1st, does May 1st work?
Well, the first
Does the
meeting
first
in May.
Tuesday work for
The
everybody?
first
in
Tuesday
May?
there. It was May 6th. Is it May 6th? I'm trying to remember.
Ah, okay, all right,
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll continue to look for days.
they did. Okay.
What I meant to say was May 6th. That's what I say, May 6th. Oh, good. Everybody's good. May 6th?
All right, it'll be May 6th, all right,
Excellent.
all right, anything else?
Nothing worse than trying to. What time?
Okay, we could still do a tour at 6, is it a full hour? We'll get back to.
We'll get back to
We'll
you.
get back to you with more information.
This is why it's so difficult to schedule these
All
things,
right.
because you've got a lot of folks that all need a calendar.
Okay, we'll get more information to you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, everybody. All right, Mayor's report. So first, I met with a cricket club on Friday. Cricket. So there's an interesting story here. I don't know how many people who have met with the cricket folks realize this. Okay, so I went out to a groundbreaking or something along those lines a couple months ago at Fairfield County Park because they're going to put in concrete for cricket. And, that was great and everything. We celebrated that. And then I met with cricket people on Friday this last week, and I have come to understand that there are 3 cricket clubs involved here in Monroe. So the cricket club out at Fairfield was the Redmond Cricket Club. The cricket club that I met with on Friday was looking for places where they could play cricket, and I suggested Memorial Field, and when I mentioned that, I learned that the Seattle Cricket Club is trying to get Memorial Field. So that's 2 cricket clubs, and the cricket club that I met with on Friday was the Monroe Cricket Club. And so just letting you know that there's a lot of cricket, and there are a lot of people coming here to play cricket in Monroe, and it's not just one club. So there's the Monroe Cricket Club, the Redmond Cricket Club, and the Seattle Cricket Club. The Seattle and the Redmond ones are coming here because they're having a hard time finding space to play cricket. And the Monroe Cricket Club seems to be really happy that everybody's coming here to play cricket. So just letting you know, there will be at the end of June an opportunity to come to what I'm going to call just sort of an opening day sort of celebration for cricket at the end of June. I encourage the folks that I met with on Friday to please make certain that they extend the offer to the council members as well. But the folks that I met with on Friday were talking about how these are very much family events. They bring family members, they have food afterwards and all this other stuff. So it sounds like it'll be a really great time. I don't know where the location will be or anything like that right now, but just sharing with you that we have become quite a hub for cricket. Councilmember Scarborough.
Do they play cricket during the day or in the evening and require lights as well?
One of the things they really like is the fact that we've got lights here, because they do play at night also. So they play during the day and they play at night.
Okay, thank you.
When they have lights, yeah. Any other questions? All right. So also on Monday, the 31st, last week, I attended the Police Department Awards, and it was great seeing our police department here. Thank you, Chief, and your staff for putting that together. There were a number of people awarded for a variety of different actions that they've taken and so on, and it was just a real pleasure seeing everybody here. Councilmember Hanford was here also, and they went ahead and recognized your father for 25 years of service, and I really appreciate all the work that he's been doing. 28? Oh, it's 28. Okay, there you go. I just made it a 5 or 0, so that was awesome. Thank you. And then also that week, or the week before, March 26th, I attended an iftar with the Islamic Center of Monroe, and it was really great sitting down and meeting folks there. What's interesting is that almost a number of the folks that I met at the iftar were the same folks that I met at the cricket club meeting on Friday last week. So that was really great. And then I also completed a number of park board interviews. We have 3 openings on the Parks Board right now. I have selected 2 people so far. We are waiting to see if there's a 3rd person that's interested, and then we will be bringing forward appointees for your consideration at probably the next meeting. So that's for your awareness. And then today, after the chamber luncheon, somebody named Brian Kelly, he's now the executive director for the Boys and Girls Club here in Monroe, mentioned to me that he wanted to offer tours to the facility. They've made a number of improvements inside, and so just like with the cricket club, I've asked them to reach out not just to me, but also to the council members to set up tours. And then also this morning at 8 a.m., I met with a Monroe High School student. I would guess that he's either a freshman or a sophomore. He had sent an email, his mom had sent an email that he wanted to send out to a number of elected officials, and I just sat down with him. He expressed concerns that nobody would actually read his email and nobody would actually respond. So I responded and then also offered to meet with him. For me, it's important that especially our youth know that they are listened to and that they know how to become more involved as they get older. So I had a nice meeting with him and his mom this morning. The next thing I want to do is ask Tammy to come forward. If if I could have a photographer. Tammy tonight, I am going to be presenting to her her Certified Municipal Leadership Award. And as I've said before, I really appreciate it when council members go through the certification process. It shows that you're involved and you're learning, and I really appreciate you and the work that you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and present this to you tonight. All right, last item I have on my agenda then is the city flag. So what we've done here is, so the last flag we had was literally just the logo on a white sheet of fabric. Thank you, insert word here, thanks. And so what we've done here is we've tried to find a way to maximize the size of the logo and then give it some interest using the color combinations and everything that were part of the branding guidelines. And this is what we came up with. Unless council has concerns about it, what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and order some of these and have them ready to go to put up when we're doing the ribbon cutting and everything in July. So is this okay with everybody? Yes, Councilmember Fisher.
I was just thinking about having Monroe on there somewhere.
The problem with Monroe going on there is, yeah, backwards.
Got it.
Yep.
See, I knew you guys had a good reason.
Yep, so Deborah and I talked about this, and you can understand that she and I are very detail-oriented and everything, and so we looked at the vexillological, did I get that right? You know, Sheldon, anybody ever watch, like, you know, The Big Bang Theory? Yeah, Sheldon, yeah, so it was Fun with Flags. And so I did all this review, and she did too, Deborah, on what makes a good flag and everything, and putting words on it or just putting like a symbol on it, like the state of Washington flag, would get very poor marks. But the way this flag is designed right here, the logo is really large. The way the stripes are done, when it's hanging down like this, you'll be able to see the stripes, and then you'll also be able to see part of the logo. Sorry for whomever is watching, I just put my hand in front. But you'll be able to see the logo also. So I think it's designed well to give it some interest. And yeah, unless there are concerns, we'll just go ahead and move forward with it. Yeah, Councilmember Gamble. I guess it could be seen like that. That was not the intent. It is, yeah, no, it is, yeah. So is everybody okay with the flag? Okay, all right, we'll go ahead and we'll move forward with it. Thank you very much, everybody. And then lastly, I'll just say this. Thank you for those of you who were able to attend today's meeting. I thank you for your patience in listening to the words that I had to share. I will say this, that just like I said in the meeting today, we would not have been able to get a quarter of the things done if we had just argued all the time up here. And I really appreciate and value the council members that are here today and that have sat in your seats before. We've been doing a really good job getting things done. Not the words I used today at the meeting, but getting things done and getting things done together. And I really appreciate that. Staff, it's the same thing with the staff. We have really talented staff that we've been able to, recruit here. And it's their vision, it's their hard work, and it's the community support that's allowed us to get so much done over the last 12 years. So I thank you all very much. And again, thank you for your patience and coming and listening to me speak today. That's all I have. You all have a great week. Thank you for your service, and take care. We're done. We're adjourned.